guys, I've got your July Tarotscopes here. I recorded these all yesterday and the audio didn't work, so we're just going to do it again. I've lined the cards out. I remember most of what I said, but we'll still try to be in the moment and see what comes through. I decided to go start with number 8 instead of number 1 today. So we'll do 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're starting with the gut triad at 8s. 8s, I pulled for you the witch in this deck. I'm using my favorite, my ladies. You'll see a lot of these this summer if you tune into this channel. 8s, I pulled the witch for you. The witch is normally known as the high priestess. And you can see here it says, intuition will reveal. Take a minute with this image. 8s, you start off the gut triad and you do indeed have this incredible gut instinct. I think you know that about yourselves. You have learned to follow your gut. You have learned to trust yourself. You haven't necessarily connected that trusting of your gut with a sense of intuition. And this is what the message is for you this month, is really notice where you are intuitive. Really lean into your intuition. Really be proud of your intuition. Recognize it as a really special skill that you possess. And if you're used to just sort of making gut decisions, can you slow down in that moment you're making a decision and just recognize the intuitive process that's happening? That will make it more available to you when you aren't necessarily getting a gut hit, but you want to tap into that intuition. You want to be able to use that skill that you have. 9s, I pulled a reversal. I pulled a few reversals this time around. I don't normally read reversals, but we're going to read reversals this time. And 9s are my first reversal. I pulled a reversed, but I'll show it you upside right side up, 5 of Swords. The 5 of Swords here, they call it defeat of the mind. It's a really difficult card. To me, this is one of the most uncomfortable energies in the tarot. 5s are always uncomfortable, but especially with swords, it really points out those cruel thoughts that we hold. The way our minds, they can be such sharp tools to cut through indecision and it's just the bullshit of life, frankly. But the mind can also turn against you. It can cause a lot of indecision and spinning. In a reverse position here, 9s, I actually think you need more of this. You need more defeat of your minds. You need to let yourself see where there are beliefs and patterns and thoughts that are stopping you from growing, stopping your evolution. You need to let those thoughts become a part of your awareness. In some ways, this is a big meditation card because it's like you need to watch your mind, observe your mind in a way that you can recognize these thoughts and beliefs and patterns so that you can start to unlearn them. But the first step is recognizing them. And I think the reversal here is that you're not seeing them. You're not letting yourself recognize the way your mind is working against you. A meditation practice can be really beneficial for this. And we'll talk about this more later with the 5s. 5s and 9s have similar work to do this month, it looks like. If you engage in a meditation practice, for you 9s, just do so with kindness. If you notice some of these thoughts that are really painful, that are maybe causing longer term problems in your life, don't beat yourself up. Don't wonder why you didn't get to this before. Just start to let awareness of the mind be a more primary part of how you move through your days. 1s, to finish off our gut triad, we pulled the 4 of Cups. Love changes. This is one of my very favorite cards in the tarot, not necessarily this deck. I associate this card with pouting about what you don't have and refusing to acknowledge what's being offered to you. I like this card because there's sort of this yin-yang transition happening. There's a front and a back. And 1s, I think that's what's being highlighted for you this month. What is it that you're letting go of that's on its way out? And can you see it as a blessing instead of a loss? And sometimes those things co-present, right? It can be a loss, it can also be a gift. It can be a gift that you are losing it. Think of people who, someone dumps them and you're like, well, thank God that person was horrible for my friend. I'm glad they're out of their life, even though it was very painful for my friend to be broken up with that way. there's something for you ones in that. What is it that you're losing and letting go of that's actually, oh, this is for my expansion. This is the door closing somewhere so that the door can open somewhere else. And then the question is, what's the opening? Can you see the goodbye and the hello here? Notice what's being offered. It might not be what you wanted. It might not be what you asked for or expected. It is still a blessing. It is still what the universe is giving you in this moment to get you to the next step. So be grateful for the losses and notice what's coming in. On to the heart triad. We start with twos. Twos, I pulled the lady who is the Knight of Pentacles. She earns her way. And I'm really drawn to this particular card, how she's studying. She's reading a book. She's really immersed in some sort of learning experience. Study really is what's coming through with this. And she looks really happy while she's doing it. There's something kind of carefree about her. Twos, it seems like there's something, this was reversed. I'm sorry. This was reversed. We're reading it as reversal, but I'm showing you the right side up. And so twos, it looks like there's some next step in your life you're wanting to take. There's some next course, next ambition, next project, and you look kind of stuck with it. It looks like it's not manifesting, it's not moving forward, it's not unfolding. And it looks to me like you're waiting for well, I have to sign up for another degree, or I have to move to Bali, I have to do something big to get this thing off the ground. This card, reverse, is telling me you actually just need some small, consistent changes, or not changes, habits, some small, consistent habits that get you closer to that goal. It could be you pick up a book about how to code and you just start to read it on your own. Or it could be you start going to a meditation class once a week. It's just an hour, but it's an hour more than you're doing right now to get you closer to whatever your ultimate goal is with that outcome, with that project. So consider where you're stuck, consider where you want to be, and start to be curious about what very small but consistent actions you can take to bridge that gap. Good. Threes. Threes, you kind of get a month off in some ways. You get an easy card this month because I pulled the Ace of Pentacles for you, the gift of work in the world. And this is sort of like a threes dream card in my mind. Threes, we love you because you're so ambitious, you achieve so much, you're always creating and starting something new, earning a lot of accolades, a lot of money, a lot of success and prestige. What this card is telling me, threes, is that you have some new projects up your sleeve. There's some new ambitions you want to pursue. And this card is saying, go for it. Don't hold back. Don't let anyone in your community tell you that you're overbooked or you're overambitious or you've got enough on your plate. In this moment, for July 2022, for the threes who are watching this, the tarot is suggesting this is a great time to start something. And in your heart, if you know that means giving something else up, by all means do it. But focus on this real gift, this burst of creative energy that's in you right now, and just feed it. Feed it, put it out in the world, see who it attracts, see what this lights up in you, this idea even of starting something new. Go for it. Fours, we'll finish up our heart triad with you. I pulled the Chatelaine, the Queen of Swords, the Woman of Ideas. Now, fours, you are known for getting lost in your ideas, your fantasies, in your dream world. But this card is telling me that right now, that's actually a gift for you. It's something to lean into instead of something to temper. And often fours, it's like, can you get out of your head and put your feet on the ground? Can you get out of your fantasies and see the real manifest reality surrounding you? But right now, fours, it looks like a little dreaming can be beneficial. And I think every skill that we have, every talent has a shadow side and a light side. And I think people focus on the shadow side of this part of fours often. Let's focus on the light. Fours, you are so tapped into the dream world. And ultimately, that is the creative plane. If you can get to that dream space, that astral realm where ideas come from, you can create anything. And fours, I want you to spend some time there. I want you to see what's there for you. I want you to see what's exciting for you to create. You have this immense creative power, fours, and if you don't let yourself linger in this space, this woman of ideas space, you never really get to let that be a big part of your journey, of your contribution even. I think that's sort of like the higher aim of the four, is to let all this creative potential, all these ideas help you be of service in the world. So linger with that in July. Fours, be less action-oriented and more creativity, idea-oriented. Next month, maybe we get to talk about actions. All right, and finally, we are on the head triad, 5, 6, and 7. Fives, we begin with the 9 of Swords, cruel thoughts. So here's my connection to the 5 of Swords for the 9, for number 9, yeah. This is a really hard card, fives. And fives, we know that your intellect is your superpower. You have such sharp minds. You are so good at analyzing and critiquing, and you are so good at picking things apart. You're really good at saying why things won't work, especially if you have a 6 wing. But in my experience, fives in general, they tend to think things through so much that there's this natural throwing up of the hands, why would I even start process. And fives, that's really hurting you right now. My caveat with meditation practice for this particular energy is that when your mind is already beating yourself up, when the pattern of the mind is very painful, if you start a meditation practice without guidance and you are simply closing your eyes and being with these very cruel thoughts, it feels terrible and it creates more harm than good. It doesn't get you any closer to freedom. And so fives, I would say if you're going to meditate, it's really important you have a teacher right now, and a teacher who's very actively involved, who will interrupt your meditation to redirect whatever's happening or to remind you of the goal. So meditate with a teacher, and or guided visualizations would actually be more gentle and productive for you than a silent meditation or Vipassana style meditation. So bear this in mind, fives. You got to get on top of your thoughts. You have to separate yourself from your thoughts. You have to be able to see the thoughts and be the essence and notice that gap so you can start to choose new thoughts. Eventually, I want you to start using affirmations or positive framed what if questions or anything. You can do EFT tapping, something that replaces the cruel thoughts. That's where we want to get to. And honestly, for you fives, it might be good to skip over the part of awareness, which is what I want the 9s to do, and go straight to the reprogramming. Your minds are so powerful. If you can reprogram to be on your side, your creative potential is pretty much endless. But right now, your creative potential is totally blocked because every time you come up with an idea or you want to form a relationship or there's some living there's that impulse in you, the thoughts can make you back down. So be aware of the thoughts, but more importantly, start reprogramming the thoughts. 6s, you get the Lovers. You get our major arcana this week. We had 2 of them, 6s and 8s. The Lovers, it can certainly be about a romantic relationship. It can also be about finding balance within yourself, the yin and the yang. And here it says the soul's deepest need. 6s, I want you to think about this card for those 2 paths I just outlined in your intimate relationship, your partnership, if you have one. And if you are polyamorous, think of any intimate partnerships. I want not just friendships. These are like the really close people in your life. And also the other track is your relationship with yourself. Somewhere, 6s, this energy is out of balance. I can't remember in the original spread if it was reversed or not, but I do remember talking a lot about how something was missing. There's a need not being met. There's a conversation that's not being had. And it's important right now. So as you look at your intimate relationships, what conversation do you want to start so that you can have those needs met, so that you can have a fuller relationship, a fuller existence with this person? And if that's not the thing, and tap in, ask yourself, is that the thing? Is it my other person or is it me? If it's you, it's the same thing. Ask yourself, what's missing in my life right now? Where do I need more balance? Where do I have so much yang activity that I'm not getting enough yin rest? Or where do I have so much like yin sort of like sloth or stagnation that I need some yang fresh energy and movement? Consider sixes. My hunch on this is you know what it is. I don't have to keep prompting you to find the thing. I have to prompt you to work towards balance. If you know what the thing is, you might maybe want to work with a coach. You can work with me. You can work with just a friend to talk through. Hey, this feels really off in my life. I want to feel this way, which means more balanced. What do I need to do to get from A to B? It's a lovely invitation. Have fun with it. And finally, my sevens. Sevens, you got my final reversal. This is the Seven of Swords. Struggles with uncertainty. It was reversed. Seven swords for my sevens. Sevens, I have no idea what I said about this card last time, so we're just going to riff. Sevens, you can be very future-oriented. I remember now. Okay. I associate the Seven of Swords with deception. And because this was reversed, I feel like you are deceiving yourselves, sevens. And I think that is related to the ways that you sort of filter out negative experience or negative feedback so that you can have this really upbeat, fun-focused, future-focused life. And I don't want to make you wrong for that, sevens, but I just want you to notice the ways that you might be deceiving yourself. What are the things you're not paying attention to that are ultimately causing more pain? You're avoiding the thing because that it would cause pain to acknowledge it. But by avoiding it, you're causing an even bigger pain in the big picture. It's hard to do this kind of excavation work, sevens. I get that. I think working with a therapist would be really helpful for this, or coach. Again, it could be a friend also, but I think this is really calling for a neutral witness, someone who can mirror your experience back to you. Sometimes people have friends who can do that, but the question again is, how are you deceiving yourself? What you do with that information is up to you. I don't want to give you too much guidance, but I do want you to start to be really honest about your habits, your feelings, your relationships, your career. Those are the big ones lighting up for me. Which of those things, if you are really honest with yourself, is not serving you and needs to change? And then sevens, you can make the change. You've got the energy for it. But the challenge is seeing where you're hung up first. So there you go, guys. That's July. I'll be back in August with the full spread, but I'll definitely be here doing some smaller readings through the month. If you've got questions, you can email me, Courtney@intuitivemedicine.org, and I'm available for one-on-one sessions for anyone in need. Take care.